as a group of us. There's been missions from the US IBC that come independently of the two of us. But this was something we set up a little while ago when John volunteered to become the next chair of the US IBC. Both of us thought this would be a great opportunity for us to go together with some of our business colleagues, and a number of them are here, Emerson Electric, Oracle, others. And the idea was to be able to address issues together, give him a chance to get his feet right into it, and you will see when you've just been speaking to him, he's right in the middle of it.
Yeah, but we make a great team, and one of the neat things about USIBC is over the last 40 years, we've gotten better and better, and Ajay brought it to a whole different level. Now we're going to, if we do our job right, really exponentially accelerate and maybe accomplish in the next 5 more than we have in the last 40. And that's personally our structure, but it's a large part the changes going on in India with digital India, with a new government lead that really gets where this market is going, with a country that maybe for the first time, at least that I've been in business over here for 30-some years, has a chance to not only leapfrog its competitors, it has a chance to move from somebody who was a slow follower to literally a fast, innovative leader. And I don't underestimate the degrees of difficulty with this, but I'm pretty excited about it. And after 5 days, it's come much further than I anticipated.
First of all, I think you should get away from worrying about one transaction, one issue. You've got to take the picture as a whole. When you run a company like he and I do, and you have shareholders' money, rarely am I rewarded for working on one transaction or one issue. They really reward me for whether I've got the right picture out 5 years and 10 years, whether I'm putting the right resources to play, taking the right risks, and putting the right capital, and empowering people the right way. That's what we get paid for. By the shareholder and by our boards, and that's why our employees follow us around. Yes. The same for a country. I would tell you, don't worry about one specific tax transaction issue. Think about where India wants to go with its taxes and whether it's making progress on that or not. So the way I think about this is, I certainly am not a fan of the retrospective tax issue. I've been the one who's made a fair amount of noise about it. I have to believe that the government gets it because they make that statement publicly and with a degree of commitment that has only increased over the past 18 months. Now, will that solve all the past issues tomorrow morning with the wave of a magic wand? No. We're in a democracy with a strong judicial system. Some things are out into the judicial system and they need to go their way through. I want to look at what they're doing in total. They're looking and committed to getting GST done. I know it's not easy. I know there are points of view, but on the whole, everybody agrees that one unified tax structure rather than multiplied tax structures that lead to inefficiency and lack of productivity and trucks lined up at octroi gates, everybody agrees that's a real possibility. So that to me is a good thing. It could be transformative. For companies in the logistics, manufacturing, consumer products, shipping, any of those, it's transformative to have a GST. That to me is the way I think about taxes. Do I care about one specific issue here or there? Absolutely. But I refuse to let that derail the way we think about a country and investing in a country as CEOs.
If you watch, the governments always move slow. And when you're trying to make fundamental change, the mistakes we make as CEO is either we don't move fast enough or we move too fast without process behind it. And you've got to do that in a unique way to really have the speed and the outcomes you want. If you watch, we've seen the government accelerating. And to the point about manufacturing, out of the 3 open items, 6 months ago, we just weren't moving on any of the 3 well. Now we're moving on the 3rd one very well, the 2nd one okay, the 1st one medium, but there's a trust model that they'll make this happen. And you see a different speed of implementation. So going back to the same theme, India is moving faster than any of its global counterparts, and I mean any of them in terms of the transitions, but it's the biggest democracy in the world with all the strengths and all the limitations. Do I think the government needs to move faster? Yes, I do. Do I think we as businesses have to move faster as well? Yes, I do. But it's accelerating. And did you get the same feeling?
Yeah, so I kind of where John is. I think I was just telling a colleague that I have this little saying to myself, which is that government should have a sense of urgency. People should have a sense of patience. And right now, when I hear the commentary you give, it feels like people also have a sense of impatience. And that's fine because it's the desire for Indians to see growth and change in their lives. That's the reason this Prime Minister came to power. He built expectations along the way. He's trying to deliver against them. pushing him at a speed, in my opinion, that may not be practical because the processes may not get built, because the cultural change that's required may not happen, because cutting across the silos may not happen with discipline, may give you some quick hits, but I'm not sure it's a good thing for the next 10 years for India. And India needs this 10-year push. It's going to need building blocks every year, but it needs a 10-year push. And I kind of, it's easy to criticize when you're not running an enterprise of 1.1 billion people.